would say it's like super hard for you to actually be able to protect your work entirely. I know it's very harsh, but get good. So it's like AI can do this, but as an artist, you should be able to do better than this because you're the original artist.
Weili, as known as Weili Wonka, is a Malaysian illustrator and former educator with a first-class honours in visual communication from Birmingham City University. She's worked with Scholastic, Moonpig, and indie creators across children's books, comics, and games. A former art educator of the One Academy of Communication Design, Weili now runs her own merchandise brand, pins, and collectibles. Her work has been featured in exhibitions across Malaysia and UK, and she's been recognized as one of Daily Press top 10 talented Malaysian artists. Welcome to the CreatorCEO podcast, Weili.
Hello, hello.
Alright, so can you share with us where Weili Wonka begins and how did storytelling become such an essential part of your creative DNA?
Weili Wonka is actually just part of my name, so it's kind of like a branding. So when we were starting out in college, especially because I went to art college, so it's kind of everyone had to make a name for themselves. And so at that time, I really liked Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So Weili Wonka is like one of like the inspirations behind my name. So because I'm called Weili, so it became Weili Wonka. And I also at that time really enjoyed children's books. So that's why it kind of like had a fusion of this and it became my branding and I stuck to it ever since. Yeah.
All right. So, what is the process from idea to products when creating pins or prints? So, how has your background in education influenced your art and creative process?
To be honest, I think they're like very separate matters because like education for me, even now I'm actually teaching as well, but education for me was more of a passion thing. So I felt that when I was younger, I didn't get that education in art that I wanted to. So I had to push a lot in my college era because basically like I liked the tuition last time, so I just had to work hard, extremely hard. So I thought that if I go back to education and I could give a bit back more towards the students that's coming up, whether they pursue art or they don't pursue art, it's kind of a fun thing. And at the same time, I'm enjoying myself because like I'm enhancing them. So that is education. But as for my personal stuff, meaning like creating my own brand, my pins and everything, those kind of things is more towards a personal kind of, I would say, a personal kind of expression. So like I produce stuff like color pins because I want to wear them. And then it's more like if the public likes them, then that's great. But most of the time that when I produce things, it's things that I really enjoy. So I wouldn't produce something that that is not my palette, basically. So yeah, that's why it kind of evolves with me. Yeah.
Alright, so you actually also play as a role model for your students, actually.
I don't think I'm a role model, but I think it would be nice to be thought of more as a fun educator, meaning that they enjoy the subject. So the most rewarding part is more when whether they can draw well or they don't draw well, but whether they had a good time and whether they learned something. I think that's the most important. Yeah, for me.
Alright, how do you, is it your students know you as artist by the first day then you?
No. I'm not that
really?
famous.
You really is my lecturer.
So there's some people who know me, but there's some that's not because I'm not very big or anything like that, and that's fine. I think it's more important to just establish like a relationship with your students. So it's not really like, oh, you're so famous and I wanna. It doesn't matter because in the first place I'm not very famous. So, but it's more like them building trust in me and actually like respecting what I'm teaching them and learning from it. That's the most important. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think as a artist and educator as well, is it there's a difference by you enjoy yourself or maybe you really know what you're doing, but versus you have to teach or maybe you have to make them scan it, right? What is the difference in it?
I think there's a difference because like with a school, there's always a syllabus. So you kind of have to teach them according to the syllabus, meaning that I'm not teaching them like how to draw like me or anything. I'm teaching them like based on like, we're going to do like figure studies or something like that. So basically like it's kind of like a set goal. Yeah. And there is like, you have to go through the education system. Whereas like for my personal things, and they just find me outside of class, then obviously I can talk whatever I want, teach them whatever I want. But yeah. not under the system. Yeah.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
What is the result that you really hope to see, you know?
Oh, to be honest, it doesn't really matter to me how the outcome is, but I think the takeaway is like I mentioned before, like the most important is that they had a good time. They learn to enjoy the subject. They learn to enjoy drawing. Whether they are good or bad, it doesn't really matter because I think drawing is more of a thing of like expression and basically progress. It's like progressive. So I think the best outcome is when your student who hated drawing in the end, they came back, especially in high school. I had so many students who like hated drawing. As soon as they came into my class, they were like, I hate art so much. And then at the end of like 3 years, they came back and then they were like, oh, do you know, miss, I went to the Van Gogh Museum and then and I really enjoyed their pieces. So that was like the best part for education for me because I was kind of like, wow, they enjoyed it in the end. So yeah.
Wow, I wish to become a student. Yeah, I really hope there's lecturers like this. So during my study time, so good. Result not important.
No, results
you
still
enjoy.
important. You can still fail one.
Oh, okay, all right. It's a very, very interesting education method. So with the rise of mindfulness and self-healing, very recently, I think there's too busy and noisy. So I think mindfulness and self-healing, these are very hit keywords. So do you think your art often offers actually gentle and also introspective, right? So serve as a forms of emotional refuge of your audience. And how do you actually get inspired to develop and design new series?
So I don't know whether mine is very self-healing, but most of the art that I produce is very personal. So they are always like introspective in a sense where this is what I'm feeling. So I draw it to express myself. And I guess what the audience kind of like understand from it is that some of them relate to what I'm feeling, and that's where there is a bond. So it's not really about self-healing because I think that one is an internal process. I don't really guide people or anything like that. I'm just expressing myself. But I think it's more of the thought of someone out there has this same feeling that I'm feeling. So they feel not so alone. And I think that is just one of the things that some of the audiences that look at my art feel. So they can resonate in a sense of I'm not alone in these murky waters. Yeah.
All right, so and about the design process, anything that might happen in your life, all right, or how do you get inspirations, all right?
It's just my life, basically.
Yeah, just your life.
So everything that
The
is
great
like
ingredients is in life.
everything that I mentioned before is like very personal. It's like personal to me. So like all my art is usually quite personal. So meaning like unless it's like for work purposes, but usually my own art is personal in the sense where it comes from the feelings that I'm feeling, or it comes of ideas that I like. Meaning is everything that has a little bit of me inside as I produce. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very, very good guidance as well because people always look for, you know, contents. But I think
hard. No,
it's hard.
I would say that it's hard. It's not like just because you do something that you like doesn't mean that it's going to be popular, and it really depends on the people. So if the people or the artists feel like that they're not okay with gathering a small audience at a time, then obviously that is everyone's prerogative. But for me personally, it was always more about I just want to do stuff that I hope people will like, that I like. So then I can enjoy my art with them and they can enjoy my art vice versa. So that was like my whole goal in being an artist. Yeah.
I would say a good artist is a good observer as well. Yeah, so that you're able to, of course, you find the ideas and so inspirations. And secondly, I think put yourself in their shoes. So produce what actually you enjoy and you really love it. All right. So those who like you, then you attract them to your become your community or your audience as well. Right. So do you see yourself more as an artist or a small business owners? Right. So and what's been the most challenging things actually in turning your art into a full-time or probably a part-time sustainable business?
I think I'll always be an artist though. I think the business side is very taxing. But so for me personally, I wish I could be like I wish I could just draw all the time and have it produced and stuff like that. But obviously in this real world, you need money to survive. So sometimes you turn it into merchandise.
Struggle.
And yeah. So And then it's very enjoyable for me in the sense where when I go to like exhibitions or like for fairs and stuff like that, part of the enjoyment is more like I like to meet people. So yes, money is a bonus, of course, because we all need to survive. But then I really enjoy meeting people and talking to them. So it's the interaction with people that really makes me happy. So as a business owner, I think that's the part that is making me more happy, because basically you get to interact with people. And then, but as an artist, obviously, I wish I can just sit down and draw all day and not worry about money. So yeah.
That's what you wish, lah.
Yeah, of course. I think every artist will wish that they can just keep producing what they want and that someone will pay them for just drawing what they want.
I think that's every artist's dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely is a goal, or probably is a.
Nowadays, where can no lah.
How do you maintain or probably balance your mindset, your left and right brain? You know, here we tell you, oh no, cannot. This one says, no, I love, draw.
I don't know. I think it's a mixture of both. It just happens naturally to survive.
Okay, all right. So, and do you actually has a mentor to guide you, or to share with you, the journey between like running a business totally actually different from hobby. So
I don't really have a mentor per se, but I mean like I have a lot of artist friends who are my senior, who has taught me, teachers. Then after we graduate, we tend to become friends, people we know, right? So like all these people who are like so senior in the industry or even in teaching and everything like that. So you always keep learning. And even for the people who I just meet who maybe are not like they are more new to the industry or like doing their own business, but still there's always something to learn. So it's kind of like from friends or like from artists that you look up to or new artists that you meet. So you tend to just draw in things that you realize that, oh, I can be better in this way or that way, or you can pick their brain and they might have a different mindset and then they'll teach you something along the way. So it's stuff like that lah. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So
you learn from everybody technically.
yeah, it's a constant learning process.
Yeah.
Very important because it's a very lonely journey when you especially become your own boss.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So your fans are clearly actually love your storytelling vibes. So what is the best feedback or DM or story you have received from our customers?
I don't really remember like word for word, but I think the best feedback I've ever received is usually things that like what you mentioned before. They said like I was going through like some like a very bad patch in my life, and then they said like, oh, I saw your art and I really felt something, like they felt a deeper connection with what I was saying, and they felt like, oh, it really helped me feel like I'm not alone. So I think those are like the comments that make me feel like, oh my gosh, like what I'm doing is okay, So I don't have to really like conform too much to what society wants me to be, and I can feel free to still express myself, and at least someone out there feels the same way I do lah. Yeah, and it kind of like helped them in a little way. Yeah.
All right, so it actually give you a satisfaction and also a recognition as well.
I don't know about recognition, but I think I just felt it felt good in a sense where I felt touched that my art could do something like that.
Okay. That is a very, very I would say good insights. Yeah, to find the reason lah. Why? Because sometimes you really need the purpose for you to continue. Yeah, I know it drain lah. All right. So as your work evolve, have you actually considered to expand it into animations or illustration book, or probably interactive digital content? So what's your vision to probably scale up, or maybe to increase your influencing powers of your brand, or all that?
I think in the end of the day, I'm still an artist. So as much as I want to scale up, I think I'm hesitating, because when you scale up, then you don't really focus on the art anymore and you're thinking of the business. So at the moment, I'm still hesitating to find a good middle point, because in the art world, there's a lot of people who produce, and then basically like it becomes business-like, meaning like you're just forced to produce all the time to make sure that you can meet like a bigger audience and stuff like that. But as for me right now, I'm trying to find a balance between like doing what I like and at the same time expanding my name. So perhaps it's more towards the fact of I will lean more towards like producing books or producing more of my own characters so that it's still me. And then at the same time, growing maybe parallelly. Yeah, that kind of way. Yeah, but not fully kind of thought about, but I'm still thinking about it. Yeah.
All right. So have you like tried to work with like interns or as a
Oh, no,
starting or like
no. Exactly. So that's the problem.
to
You see,
taste about
it's because like
team?
for me personally, my art is mine, right? So if
Mm.
I work with interns, I feel like then they're doing my work well. So then it's not all me already. So then that's where I'm like stuck, because then it wouldn't be my stuff. It would be they will also be doing it. So yeah.
Okay,
It's a very weird personal artist thing of mine.
Yeah, understand. Because at the current moment, you still like it's a very important thing that you still is the main person,
Yeah.
who produce
Yeah,
every
yeah,
piece of
correct.
art.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, even if I were to hire an intern to shoot, let's just say, I know some people
Content.
who content and stuff like that,
Mhm.
doesn't represent my thoughts. It's basically like someone else's,
From their lens.
yeah, from their lens and thinking what can sell. So kind of, I still want my personality to be in it. Yeah. So, but I know it's not common to think like that. But yeah, this is
That's
just
fine.
me being weird. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, because every artist they have their own perspective by
Yeah.
managing their own brand because it's yours.
Of course, yeah, and everyone is like, obviously everyone has their reasons and how they want to grow. So this is just my personal struggle, basically.
All right. So what is one of the biggest challenge actually that hits you? All right, that it doesn't kill you, but makes you stronger even till now. So
The biggest challenge I think is more towards like ourselves. So basically, like I don't know about everyone else, but for me personally, it's very hard for me to sit down very long to kind of like produce something long term, because I'm scared of how big it is. So I know a lot of people don't really think that way, but for me, I feel like the bigger my project is, for my personal project, I feel more scared to start, because once you start, right, not it's either do or die. That means if it sinks, it sinks, and if it does well, it does well. But obviously, it doesn't really matter. But I'm more of a person where I wish that I could have more. I would just sit down and just do it instead of hesitate. So yeah, so one of my goals this year is actually to actually produce something a bit bigger, meaning like a book, a comic book maybe, or something like that, like a full-fledged something. Yeah, not so short. Yeah.
all right. So can you share with us one of the most remarkable milestone or maybe brands or clients that you wrote before, and any special learning that you feel like, hey, this is something that you can like share with us?
So I didn't really work with anyone that's super super special. I think that I was fortunate to work with Scholastic, which is. But if you're talking about the biggest milestone, I can't say anything much though. Like, I don't think I've achieved such a big milestone to actually say that I've achieved a milestone yet. To me, in my younger days, I would say numbers matter. But then in my older days, now that I'm older, I don't think numbers matter anymore. So I know that I very appreciate, I like really appreciate the numbers I get, of course. But to me nowadays, it's more about, I think a milestone would be me producing something that I really genuinely like. And then, like I mentioned, if I really achieve that project, which I told you about, like a long-term, a longer sit down, a comic book of my own with my own IP, I think that would be my milestone. So for now, I haven't reached it yet. Yeah.
So with so many artists now, right? So they're jumping into digital products, right? So such as AI tools or
Yeah.
even like some NFTs. So how do you decide which trends to follow and which to stay away?
As you can tell from my interview, I don't follow trends on. so I think it's like a quite common thing for my friends and all to always like laugh at me as well, because I'm always very dated, meaning that I only like certain things that I like, and then that's it. And then I will keep repeating the same things I like. And then other than that, like even for, let's just say, I know like a lot of people like series, like fandoms and stuff like that. So even for like the recent stuff, I usually tend to not watch it until like it's like a few years old. Then I watch it and then I'm late. So I'm usually not on trend. So I really can't give you advice on whether it's NFTs or anything like a digital platform. I have just been how I am. Yeah. And hoping things will look up.
All right. So how do actually you look at because artists, right? So I think
Yeah.
AI is one of the so-called like the most important milestone, I believe, in almost every industries. So how do you look at these revolutions?
You mean the AI, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so for me personally, like I think everyone was kind of worried about it. I know a lot of artists who are worried about it, and even I also feel like, oh, of course, it would be sad if someone used my artwork and feed it to AI, right? Obviously, but I think it's just a matter of, I know it's very harsh, but get good. So it's like AI can do this, but as an artist, you should be able to do better than this because you're the original artist. So in that terms, like I think at the end of the day, AI kind of filters out the market of those people who want a cheap kind of alternative, meaning like, oh, we just want something done. And usually these kind of people would have hired a high schooler anyway, so you wouldn't have got their money anyway. So, but whereas like serious clients or like, let's just say advertising firms or like, you know, those people who have been in the industry so long, they can have an art sense of like what they really want. And they understand that certain artists bring certain things to the table. So at that time, obviously, they will hire the authentic artists instead. So in terms of that, I think there will kind of always be a market for us because we have lasted through the ages until now. So if we could last until now, I think it's just about producing and basically like having your own voice in the industry. So yeah, AI kind of replaces the hard work of drawing, but at the same time, the creativity still needs someone there. Yeah.
Alright, so which means as artists, you just like need to like be consistent, right?
Keep getting better. I think
Getting
you get better
yeah.
at your art, better at your ideas. And so basically like with time, that's what you're supposed to do anyway.
So the execution, the work you can have.
No. I have never used AI. I'm just saying that I know certain people use it as an alternative, but obviously I don't. But there's certain people who use it as an alternative, but that's fine because like that's part of their industry. That means like whether it's concept art or anything like that, sometimes they need to use it to speed up the timeline. But for me personally, obviously I have no need for AI because I draw anyway from start to finish. So yeah. So
Because for you, you're still enjoying in like.
I think that's the whole point, right? We have to enjoy what we're doing.
Yes. I think these are key things, right? So running your own brand and merchandises means like you need to wearing many hats, right? So how do you actually navigate the business side, right? So like marketing, productions, or team support, so while staying true your art without burning out.
Because right now, like I mentioned before, it's different now in this like new algorithm landscape. I know everyone talks about it, but basically like you don't post enough, you get punished and stuff like that. So obviously, as and when, sometimes I do a little post, but only when I feel like I want to draw. So meaning I'm not going to force myself to do it because I think that's the easiest way to burn out, by basically forcing yourself every day to post something just for the numbers. That's like, I know a lot of people who can do it and like power to them, but I can't because I'm not that kind of person. I will get lazy, and then I don't want to drop the level of my work just so that I can post something. So personally, I want to post as and when, like how I used to, but I will try my best to be more consistent. I think that's the only thing. So basically, like previously I could go like a few months without posting, but nowadays I kind of like, oh, okay, I should draw something, you know, and then yeah, so that kind of leads up to it. So.
All right, so how do you actually how you say, to look at the social media era now? So as an artist last time, I just need to focus on drawing, right?
Yeah.
So now I need to like, I have to post something like I mentioned.
Yeah, so that's why I don't know. so that's the problem. So the problem is that I don't post enough. So I think it's just me. I have to be more consistent, and obviously as an artist we should draw more lah. Obviously, so I should draw more, and then so with drawing more, then obviously there's more stuff to post lah. But yeah, it's something that I struggle with personally.
So how do you I think like manage your own emotions or self-feeling? I quite feel like you require quite a lot of me time.
My me time is usually drawing.
Drawing. Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
like that's my expression. So when I need some time by myself, basically I just draw. So whether it's drawing what I'm feeling at the moment or a situation or basically my thoughts, I usually express myself through drawing. Yeah. So usually that's why like when I do my comics and all, it's usually a lot of my personal emotions inside. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What is your advice or probably some hidden struggles for new artists, like let's say, to give up advice for them that should away, before they're stepping into the industry like you today? So, or probably what is actually something that you wish someone has warned you earlier about? Yeah, so now you become the person.
Okay, so I think I don't know whether we count as an industry, but so basically I think that you should always have fun, because I think that a lot of artists, whether young or old, they kind of like are not having fun anymore. So I think the most important about when you're producing art, right, you have to enjoy what you're doing. So if you're not enjoying what you're doing, right, basically it's easier for you to burn out, because you just push yourself to keep doing. And I guess the other point is that what you're doing and you're enjoying, right, it might not always bring you back something that you want immediately. So if you are not very satisfied with what you're getting back in the small run, it tends to be a bit harder. And when you push yourself even further, what happens is that it's easier for you to burn out. So my kind of tip would be to still kind of find some enjoyment in what you're doing. It could be a nice balance between like a practical usage and also like what you enjoy. So you need to find a nice balance, which is very, very hard. So to be honest, my advice is quite hard to take in, because I would say that finding something that you really enjoy and getting something that you want back from it is pretty hard. But it's all just about the process of like, don't rush into it. You just need to take your time and kind of enjoy the process, even though it's very slow and hard. Yeah.
Right, so respect to the time zone.
Yeah.
Don't rush for it.
Yeah, don't rush. Yeah.
How do you protect your work from plagiarism or reselling issues?
So I think with the rise of AI and everything like that, I think it gets kind of hard. So I would say that it's quite hard to say I'm completely protected. So with trademark and copyright, it can actually get you somewhere, but it's not going to protect you from every little thing. So as an artist, I think it's very hard to say like for sure that all your work is protected. I think that is a very difficult thing to do. But I think with time and the processes, it just gets a bit trickier. But as an artist, I think we will be all right, because we just continue to grow as well. So I think that this kind of thing, I'm not quite sure how to kind of manage it in the long run, but I think it will be all right as long as you keep producing and getting better. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the only way to prevent it is actually improving yourself from year to year.
Yeah.
Right? So even though someone might copy your art in a way back to 2020,
Of course, yeah.
but currently, the
Yeah.
2025 version of you
Yeah.
is definitely far more advanced.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, like, obviously, you'll still feel sad and hurt about it. That's normal. But I mean, it's just something that we cannot avoid in any industry, not just art, but I think in any industry, it's pretty hard to just like protect it so well, except for like, those like people, the big firms. Yeah, so.
Looking forward 3 to 5 years, how do you see Weili Wonka growing? And how will tech or new formats play a role in your career?
Okay, so for me, 3 to 5 years, I think the goal is like I mentioned before. So my goal is kind of to produce something for myself, meaning like I will develop my own IP that I'm already developing, but I want to produce it into maybe like a comic, like a book. So this will be mostly for myself, yeah. And then I'll look forward to see what happens after that. I think it's a thing that I can't really predict at the moment, because I want to see myself progress. So I'm just going to push myself to progress in that sense first. And as it comes, I think more things will follow. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Weili, for taking us into your whimsical and thoughtful and as well as a magical world of Weili Wonka. So be sure to follow Weili Wonka Instagram. And if you are into creator stories, creator economies, or tips to monetize your IP through cloud technologies, so be sure to subscribe Steve, our CreatorCEO podcast. So we are a one-stop solutions for creators to monetize your IP. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Playful, easygoing, zen. That's the impression Weili left on me after our conversation. Weili may not fit the image of the ambitious, hard-charging entrepreneurs we often imagine. But in her steady, step-by-step journey, I see something equally powerful. The most grounded reflection of people like you and me, slowly building our dreams from the ground up. There's a saying I love. Not everyone needs to be the sun. You can be a star. Shine in your own way, and simply by being part of the universe, your light will matter. And that in itself is enough for a life well lived.